Americans everywhere are struggling with the phenomenon of tipping fatigue. The rate of inflation in America is not slowing down, and the rise in tip demands for goods and services have exhausted people. According to USA Today, 48% of Americans are tired about being asked for tips in their day-to-day lives, and 63% of Americans feel pressured further by tip screens. And who can blame them? With self-checkouts, hotel websites, online retailers, and self-serve gas pumps asking about gratuity, it is completely understandable to feel a sense of burnout from tipping culture. But who is this really hurting? Tipped employees, like servers, are taking the hit from all of this. According to a Pew Research article, 75% of patrons are tipping their servers 15% less than they were 5 years ago. This is detrimental to their livelihoods because of the United States Labor Department's standard of tipped employees. Tipped employees make their living off of tips. In most states, these tipped employees' hourly wage is $2.13 an hour, based off a federal law that allows for a tip credit. Tip credits are a restaurant's way of cutting down on labor cost. Essentially, if a person can make at least an additional $5.12 an hour through tips, they have made enough money by federal minimum wage standards. Servers also have to tip out every night that they work. Servers pay food runners, bussers, and bartenders a percentage of their sales every shift. These people are also tipped employees, just like your server. If you and other tables do not tip your waiter or waitress at the end of the night, they owe money out of pocket. So, what's the solution? There isn't a viable way to prevent others from asking for tips. We can't stop restaurant tip-outs. And honestly, why is it in the hands of patrons to provide a livable wage to servers? The answer may just be in California. California does not follow the tipped employee rule like other states. It pays all servers the state minimum wage of $16 an hour, allowing servers to make a livable wage just by going to work. Okay, I hear you. Why do I need to tip my server then if they make that much? Well, based off a 2020 decision by the U.S. Department of Labor, restaurants that don't utilize a tip credit are able to tip out every employee in the restaurant minus management. This varies from restaurant to restaurant, but this opens up the tip pool to the back-of-house employees. But I get it. You don't want a chef or dishwasher or prep cook to receive your hard-earned cash. That is completely fine because in California, a server wouldn't need to depend on gratuity to pay for their monthly bills. Tipping does not make or break their finances. But if you really loved your service, you could leave money as a form of appreciation. Shelby Witt, a former California resident and server, said that despite the tip out at her job, she felt more secure in her finances. She was able to pay her own bills on time and even had enough to save up. However, after she moved to Tennessee, a state with a tip credit, she has had weeks where she has not been able to afford bills at all. The only downside of a minimum wage in restaurants, according to Shelby, is how much is taken out in taxes at that time. But she says she always got it back during tax season. Why is this important? Well, the federal minimum wage in the United States has not changed since 2009. According to MIT, the current minimum wage is only 1 cent above the poverty line in the entire United States. Through tip credit standards and most states not having their own minimum wage set, this means that working class people are not making a livable wage. If we are so tired of tip screens and money-hungry servers, the answer lies in raising the minimum wage.